The football team is huddled around Fabio. Do it for Bolivia! I run over there. It was too late. The damage had been done. I got a foreign exchange student sent back to Bolivia. What if I told you that the football team did it and told everyone that it was me? Check this one out. Check this one out. And y'all blamed me. And y'all blamed me. And y'all are sick. Y'all are sick. Oh my god. Like, I really was beefing with the whole football team at once. For years. Raindrops falling on my head. For Young Thug, I got a bone to pick with my old high school. My high school experience was probably like the worst thing I've ever been through. You know how everyone's like, oh, I've never had a unique experience. Like every experience I've had is universal. The high school experience I had, not universal. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that much. This is all alleged, and if anyone tries to sue me from my old high school, this is a joke. So for reference, my high school was in Humboldt County, and if you saw my last video where I basically almost got murdered in the woods by a man.
I'm gonna hurt you.
Okay, well you scared me.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Scared to get to walk by and eat the stairs off the water into something.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm a sweetheart. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm
You're
sorry.
probably more dangerous than me. You're probably more evil than me. Look at the dark hair you're saying. You're bomb. Little stoner.
Yeah, that was in Humboldt County. Humboldt County is one of the worst crime rates in the country, and honestly, I want to do a whole deep dive on Humboldt. There is just really weird energy going on in Humboldt. There's so many missing people. I've seen some things in Humboldt that I cannot unsee. And if you guys have heard of the documentary Murder Mountain that Netflix made, that's in Humboldt County. Murder Mountain. So you can imagine the nearby high school might not be the best high school. There were a lot of things wrong with my high school. Like, my freshman year wasn't too bad, but then sophomore year, everything just got really bad. The football team cyberbullied me. Oh my gosh, my beef with the football team in high school, I could like just write a book about my beef with the football team. Like, the lore with me and that football team goes so deep. My beef with the football team started sophomore year. And not just the JV football team, but the varsity football team as well. And then you're thinking, how does a weird little 15-year-old sophomore like you do that? Well, I'll tell you. Let's get into it. Honestly, I'm still processing things I went through in high school because they were really traumatic. So, sophomore year, I had a really bad home life. My mom never really cared what I did. There's some really dark stuff with my mom and I. I never wanted to be home, and things were really, 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 really bad. I started hanging out with this senior who was actually like really nice and cool. We'll call him Oliver. Oliver was like super chill. All the parents loved him. Even though my mom didn't care what I did, like she just like never cared how late I was out. So I could be out all night on a school night. I was smoking every day. When I smoked weed for the first time when I was 15, I felt a sense of relief that I had been like looking for, and suddenly like all my problems with my home life became a lot easier. I honestly used it as my escape and to cope, and I still do to this day. Maybe that's bad. It's not the worst thing. It helps me a lot with my anxiety and just like staying calm on a day-to-day basis. I've always been like stressed out, probably because I grew up in a traumatic environment. Hanging out with people was always my way of escaping. Like I would do anything to not be home. This one night, Oliver wanted to drive me and my friend around, and she was a sophomore as well. We'll call her Lily. Lily and I were driving around with Oliver. Oliver gets a call from pretty much like the most popular guy in my grade who happened to be on the JV football team. Call him Nick. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, why is Nick calling you? And Oliver puts on speaker, and Nick's like, yo, can you come pick us up? So we go pick them up from this party, and it's Nick and 3 other guys. The 3 other guys were all on the football team. And Oliver's car was like this 3 seats in the front and 3 seats in the back. So it was me in the middle, Oliver driving, and then the guy I was close to on the football team, and then in the back is the other guy I was close to on the football team, and then Nick, the popular guy, and then just the other guy. My friend Lily sat in the back with them. We drove to like this parking lot literally in the middle of nowhere called Headwaters. There's no service out there. I'm pretty sure people just go out there to like do bad stuff. So we go out to this parking lot in the middle of the woods. We all get out of the car. Nick and the guys are like shotgunning more beers and like smoking more and like getting more crossfaded. And we're in like this pitch black parking lot, and it's surrounded by forests and trees. No service, no other cars are out there. My friend Lily comes up to me, she's like, oh, can you sit in the back seat? I was like, oh, like, yeah, like, sure, like, no problem. I honestly just thought she, like, got car sick or something, and we didn't really discuss, like, anything further, and, like, all the guys were around us and stuff. So when they finished shotgunning beers and stuff, when we finished, like, messing around out there, we get back in the car, and we drive to Arcata, because we were going to go to a college party. As we're driving to Arcata, Humboldt State University, I'm now in the back. I am in between my good friend, who's on the football team, and then Nick was next to me. Also, trigger warning, I'm going to say stuff about SA. So if that triggers you, do not watch this, because I totally understand that could be triggering. Also, this was like really traumatic for me at the time. I know I'm like going to tell this in a lighthearted way, but this is definitely like not funny. Nick is holding a beer in one of his hands. He's like, can you hold my beer? He's like super crossfaded, right? I'm next to him like, oh yeah, like I'll hold your beer. So I'm holding his beer with one hand. I'm holding my phone in the other. My friend is next to me. The music is blaring loud. And we're like pretty squished together back there, since it's only a three-seater, and then the front has 3 seats too. Nick starts, I'm trying to say this in like the least triggering way possible, starts trying to put his hand up my, and I am like, what the I'm not even sexually active yet. I'm 15. This is crazy. I kind of just like froze. Like I had like a freeze response. Maybe I should have decked him in the face, right? But then he tries to put his hand down, and I'm saying, no, like, please stop. He starts laughing at me. Because he thinks it's funny, and he's not stopping. And so I start spilling his beer can on himself that I'm holding for him on purpose, because I'm trying to get him to stop. And he starts laughing even more. I felt frozen. I didn't know what to do. The music was blaring. I felt horrible and violated, and I looked to my left, and I go, oh, well, good thing my good friend is next to me. Good thing, right? Look over. He doesn't say anything. He's just like, just staring at me, and I'm like, are you really not gonna do anything? And this is what he does to me. He turns away. Because they're football bros. He turns away. Because they're football bros. And he can like fully see what he's doing and like me saying stop. He's seeing this all go down, and instead of saying something, he turns away. So, once he turned away, essentially what ended up happening is I told them that I didn't feel good and that we should pull over. And we pulled over, and then as soon as we got out of the car, Nick starts throwing up on the sidewalk. He starts throwing up. And I'm like, okay, well, actually, this is good that he's sick, because maybe he'll leave me alone, right? Anyways, he doesn't touch me for the rest, because he's just, like, really out of it. We get in the car, and we go back to Lily's house. Right when we get in Lily's room, Lily tells me that he did the same thing to her when she was in the back seat, so that's why she wanted to switch seats for me, but she didn't think that he would do it to me. He did. And we both were like, okay, we're not going to say anything. We're not going to do anything, because we know how this goes. We say something, we're deemed crazy, we're deemed liars. Keep my mouth shut, right? So this was a Saturday night. The following Monday morning, first period was honors chemistry. Guess who was my chemistry partner? Nick. Nick was my honors chemistry partner that I had to see in first period that Monday. I go to school. I'm walking through the hallways. Varsity football players, JV football players, guys older than me, guys younger than me who are on the football team are walking down the hallway calling me any horrible name under the sun I was being called. I was being called a liar. I didn't say anything to anyone except Lily. Lily and I said we weren't going to say anything. And Monday, the whole school knew, But they didn't know my side of the story. Nick did damage control. And Nick told everyone that I was coming onto him, that I'm a liar, and that I'm telling everyone that he tried to R-word me. Basically, the whole school thought I was crazy and a and a. And he told everyone that I came onto him and he was rejecting me. And it sucked because I had I had like 4 really good friends that I thought I was really good friends with on the football team. They would come to my house. They met my mother. And they were treating me like the rest of them were treating me. Except Casey. Love you, Casey. Casey is the guy that's in my homeless documentary who I visited in Humboldt. And yeah, love him so much. But this started a war. But honestly, it wasn't much of a war because I wasn't putting up a fight. I was getting obliterated. Like, what was I going to do? Did I have proof? No. Did my friend see everything that happened and choose to ignore it? Yeah. What can I do about that? Not much. So that night, after like everyone called me all the names at school and everything, that night, every single football player on the JV team, on the varsity team, except some on the varsity didn't care enough they weren't a part of it. But some were, and they all posted on their story this meme. It's a meme of Josh Peck saying, Megan, and they all posted that on their Snapchat stories. And then they made this cute little edit of me, which it's my face, and they put the Hub logo on it. And I can't even show you guys that photo because it's disturbing and gross. And then the bullying just became very, very much worse. I would go home at lunch and cry until I just stopped going to school. I was like, screw this, I'm not going to school. Like, to not even be like sexually active whatsoever and then get called all these names, it is just crazy. So yeah, I ended up missing 3 weeks of school. I ended up failing 2 classes because of it. I told everyone that I had mono when I was really depressed and couldn't get out of bed. So this started my hate for the football team. That was sophomore year, failed classes. 3 weeks later, Nick took me out to lunch to apologize to me and talk. I remember like people on the football team recorded it because they had this football group chat, which I read that group chat a lot. And y'all are sick. Y'all are sick. Oh my God. The amount of like horrible things that were in that group chat, crazy. Anyways, Nick took me out to lunch. I was naive. I didn't know better. I forgave him. But I never forgot it. I'm still holding this like grudge. This isn't even where the story ends, okay? It gets crazier. It gets crazier. You know how I mentioned earlier that I got a foreign exchange student sent back to Bolivia? What if I told you that the football team did it and told everyone that it was me? Check this one out. Check this one out. Next year comes around. Junior year. New Year's Eve. So I decided to throw a New Year's party because my mom doesn't give a crap what I do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drink and throw a party and hopefully people please and make everyone like me because I'm not getting the attention I need at home. So I throw this party. Most of the people who came, like all the juniors, like it was a lot of their first time drinking. I invited like pretty much everyone in the junior class. I even invited the football players because you know what? I wanted to turn a new leaf. I wanted to start over. I didn't invite Nick, but he ended up showing up anyways with the football crew. Football crew shows up. It's chill, it's fine. At the time, I was talking to this foreign exchange student named Fabio. Shout out Fabio. He is Bolivian and he would play guitar for me. And he was a nice person. Fabio and I were a thing. So he was at my New Year's party and I was like, you know what? You probably shouldn't drink. If you do, like, I would just take like a shot or two because foreign exchange students are not allowed to drink, drive, date, or do drugs. If they do any of those 4 things, they'll be kicked out. And we were just like talking. We weren't dating. We never kissed. Fabio shows up to my party. Everyone loves Fabio. Everyone was having a really great time until I'm making my rounds as host, right? And I told Fabio, I said, Fabio, maybe don't drink. Maybe just take a shot or 2 because you can get sent back to Bolivia. He was like, yeah, you're right. Tell me why I'm walking around the party. It's not even midnight yet. It's not even midnight. I look over in the backyard. The football team is huddled around Fabio. And Fabio has a handle of vodka and is chugging it like it's water, and he is dehydrated. The football team is huddling around him going, Do it for Bolivia! Do it for Bolivia! I have never turned around so fast. I go, the damage had been done. I run over there. Fabio, why are you drinking? It was too late. It was too late. And he was instantly belligerently drunk. Belligerently drunk. Then he starts walking around the house, throwing up on the floor, doing all this stuff, right? Everyone's having a good time. Midnight happened. Whoa, woo. Everyone's worried about Fabio. Fabio's not doing well. Then Fabio goes home. Fabio's host parents did not like the state he was in. He was in a very bad state. Next day, we all hear the news that Fabio's getting sent back to Bolivia. The football team starts posting on Snapchat again. Hashtag rip Fabio. Hashtag rip Fabio. Next day at school. Oh, who did everyone blame? Who did they blame? The football team? They said it was me. They said Fabio got deported and it was Megan's fault. Deported? What are you talking about? That's probably offensive. And me, you guys were the one being like, Drew, we're doing for Bolivia. Get belligerently drunk. Get alcohol poisoning. I was the one being like, Fabio, maybe you shouldn't do all that. And y'all blamed me. Next thing you know, the whole school, teachers, students, everyone was talking about it. Once again, bamboozled by the football team. Once again, embarrassed. And yeah, that's pretty much why I really had a lot of beef with the football team. Now, did we ever resolve this? Not really, to be honest with you. But my senior year, a lot of the football players reached out to me and was like, damn, you were right about Nick. And like 5 other girls came out about stuff and I got more like sincere apologies from them. So yeah, that's why I had beef with the football team throughout high school. Now I can never date a football player. I just can't. No, it's too traumatic. It's too bad. Can y'all believe that? And that's only like, y'all, I have so many stories from high school. It's crazy. But I think my next video is going to be about my whole experience in the psych ward from start to finish. Let me know if you guys like that story. I have so many more crazy ones. And let me know if y'all think it was the football team who got Fabio sent back to Bolivia and not me. And also, yeah, just validate me. But is that not crazy? Is that not like insane? Like I really was beefing with the whole football team at once. For years. Yeah. I am writing a book about my relationship with a sociopath. And it's not Nick. He's way worse than Nick. He's actually a sociopath. And did the most insane stuff to me. And that's what my book that I'm writing is about. Nick is in the book though. Nick will be in the book. Anyways, never trust the football team unless it's a Casey. But no hate to other football players. All love. I don't even know how I survived high school, to be honest with you. And I liked school until I felt my depression completely took over everything. And towards the end of the school year, I was not supposed to graduate because I missed so much school because I was so depressed. And that's not the football team's fault. There's so many things that happen. But sophomore year, those like 3 weeks where I missed school was really, really dark. And I think it's always important to be kind to people and to not call them mean names or post memes about them, because even if you think it's funny, it's probably not to them. But y'all already know that. I don't need to tell y'all that. I really enjoy talking to you guys. If you guys ever need someone to talk to, my DMs are always open. Whether it's about homelessness, being lonely, mental health, feeling depressed, feeling like you're completely alone. I'm working on starting a Discord for people who feel alone, just because personally it would help me a lot. I'll have more details about that later. I'm going to Arkansas for a week. I'm gonna film that. I'm going like by myself. So I'm gonna film myself going to the airport and on the plane and everything like that. Y'all are really nice and kind. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. And y'all have a great day.